Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today, it's going to be a little bit different of a video than normal. I'm going to talk about the top 5 baits I think you should throw. And without further ado, let's get started. But first, we're going to bring up a few honorable mentions. First honorable mention is the craw. The craw is a very versatile bait. You can throw it in so many different ways. You can pitch it under docks, you can swim it, or you can just pop it up and down off the bottom. Very good for primarily largemouth and smallmouth, but I've caught a few different species on it, and it's a really good natural presence in the water. My second honorable mention spot, the suspending jerkbait. The suspending jerkbait is a really good bait to throw in cold water climates, or even when the bite is tough. And I've caught varieties of different species off these, ranging from largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, to even northern pike and walleye. And I've even heard people catching other species off these as well, such as crappie and I'm assuming even catfish, but not as common. This is a very good bait for a natural injured bait fish presence. Number 5 spot, I'm throwing in the Rapala jointed shatter wrap. And I know you may be thinking, the jointed shatter wrap is a pretty odd bait to throw in a number 5 spot, but I like it for my specific reasons. I will say this, it is not a very good bait to throw into your local farm ponds and your ponds you are by. But when you put this on a big lake around here, you're going to get bit by everything out there. Coming from smallmouth, largemouth, walleye, northern, everything in between. And my big reason why I like this is because it's got a really good natural swimming presentation in the water itself. And it's also got I don't know if you guys will be able to pick it up, but it's got some nice rattles in it to go with it that create a very good vibration that attracts that fish to that bait. They also come in a variety of different colors. I think this one is the sexy shad. I also got right with me right here the fire tiger, and I also got a little bit smaller one. It's just a regular natural perch presence. The shatter wrap has been a favorite of mine for a long time. I've been throwing this ever since I was a little kid, 8-10 years old, and I've caught so many fish on it. I've caught a lot of walleye, a lot of smallmouth, a lot of largemouth, and it's always tied onto one of my poles when I'm out on the bigger lakes. Number 4 spot, I got the bladed jig, or better known as the chatterbait. Chatterbait is another very unique bait to itself and also very versatile bait to throw. They come in a variety of different sizes and colors. This one here is got the blue and the white and the yellow here, kind of like a little shad or bluegill. I got right next to me, I got the chartreuse and white. I also got just a plain red one here. And they're very versatile in the way that you can put a lot of trailers on these. And I usually hardly ever throw these without a trailer. My favorite trailer to throw on them is just the paddle tail. Gives you that nice bait fish presentation in there. And when you come into these windier days with that vibrating, shaking blade up front, it causes a nice shiny presence in the water, which mimics schooling bait fish. But I also occasionally like throwing like a nice crawl on the back there that gives the nice little back pedal kicks. But I've caught everything from largemouths and walleye on these. Are my primary things I catch on these, but I will not be surprised to catch northern or anything else off of these. I always have one of these tied on when I go to a new water I've never been to before. And in my number 3 spot, I got the lipless crankbait. I'm gonna go and tell a little bit of story here with the lipless crankbait and why I like it so much personally, besides its superior ability to catch fish. But back when I was a little boy, I saved up some money and I finally bought myself my first lure, and it was a rattle trap lipless crankbait, and then in the silver, black, and blue color. And when we went on family vacation up to the bigger lakes, I was throwing it around and I hooked in to my PB crappie at that time, which was either a 15 or 16 inch black crappie, which tasted phenomenal. I was stoked. It was fun. It's a really good core memory I have from and why these rank so high for me. But anyway, let's talk more about the bait itself. The lipless crankbait comes in a lot of different colors and a lot of different sizes. Here I got a bluegill colored rattle trap. Here is a red craw colored Guggen bait one. And I really like throwing this one in the early months of spring when the ice is just fresh off the water. I catch a lot of my early bass off of this specific crankbait here in this size. And my other one here I got with me, got hooked with a finger, but The little micro one, which I use a lot of times for when I throw my ultralight when the bite's tough, and let's face the facts here, when you throw smaller baits, you're gonna catch more fish because it generates more bites. But these also are really good to use for in ice fishing. You can jig the water, jig it up and down, and vertical jigging. These are my top 3 because of their versatility. They have a nice tight shimmy when you bring them in. They don't float when you cast them out. So when you cast it, it sinks. And with that ability there, you can fish it wherever in the water column you want. If you want it up high, if you want it down low, if it, the bottom of the lake is really grassy, you want to keep it out of there, you can keep it up right above that. Or if the bite's up top, you can keep it up top. So I really like them for that reason. And in my number 2 spot, I got the Senko. The Senko is a phenomenal bait to throw for any person. If you're a tournament angler or a 5-year-old kid that just got his first fishing pole, there's not really a bad way you can throw this. You can throw it. My favorite way to throw it is on a wacky rig, but I also love throwing these on a weightless texture rig. You can throw them weighted, weightless, don't matter. They have a really nice presentation in the water, and they come in varieties of sizes and colors. Right here, I got like a red watermelon flake and then a 5-inch worm. Here, I got a June bug and a 4-inch worm. And here, I also got a pearl white one and a 6-inch worm. There's a lot of different ways to retrieve them. The way I like to retrieve it is, even if it's Texas rig or wacky rigged, I like to give it a couple pops like this, let it sit for 3 to 5 seconds. And then a lot of times when that bass hits, it's on that way that's sinking down. Because when it is sinking down, it gives a nice little shimmy down, really natural, and the bass just love it. Primarily, this is a bass bait, and that's a lot of the reason why it's sitting in my 2 spot. Otherwise, if I was just targeting bass, this would probably be my number 1. But what it lacks in versatility, it is a great all-around bass bait, like I said, for tournament anglers to the first-time anglers out there. And finally, at my number 1 slot, the twister tail, or better known as the curly tail grub. Now, you might be thinking, this is a pretty basic bait to throw up there. Well, that's the perfect reason why to put it there, because it simply just catches fish. I started throwing this bait. It's one of my first artificial lures I've ever thrown. I've been catching fish on it ever since then. My dad lived and died by these, especially this specific color and this specific brand here with his Johnson swim grubs. I've caught every single species you can think of. I've caught, largemouth, smallmouth, northern walleye, even drum. I've caught them all. This is my favorite bait to throw. If I actually have to catch a fish, I'm throwing this because it's going to get bit. The versatility of it is. It can catch anything from a bluegill all the way up to a catfish. It is absolutely the most versatile bait on the market. What makes it so special? Well, it's got this little tail here, and it spins around like exactly what it is. It's a curly tail grub. It spins around, mimics a perfect swimming bait fish. And with the jig head, obviously it doesn't float. You can fish that at a variety of different depths and different structures. I like personally when I throw it out, I cast it out, I let it sit 5-10 seconds, not even, start reeling in. Just a plain, simple, slow retrieve, or if I feel a little special that day, I might jig it off the bottom, popping it off the bottom. Sometimes you get a nice reaction strike there from whatever fish is around. I've been throwing these for years, 20 plus years almost at this rate. If I got a new friend with me to come out to fish that's never fished before, I'm going to tie this bait onto their pole. Because I know they're going to catch a fish and they're going to have fun every single time. And as a matter of fact, I did it not that long ago. My buddy, we took the kayaks out, threw on one of these, and he caught them on. There's another reason why they're so versatile is they come in varieties of different colors. White is just the most basic one you can get. Right here, we got a pink jig head with the chartreuse body. But it's not even just that. These jig heads come right off, or the curly tail grubs come right off, and you can put them on different jig heads. Like I've used them on Roadrunner jig heads that have the little blade on there. It's just simply the curly tail grub beats it all. No matter if you've been fishing for 60 years or it's your first day in the water, I guarantee you go to everybody's box, they got one of these in there, and there's a reason for that. Alright guys, this is the end of the video, and that is my top 5 bait list. What's your number 1 bait? Let me know down in the comments. I'll catch you guys back on the water. And they're very very versatile in the ways when you say like me, there's a lot of ways that you can throw these. Like me personally, I like to when I get them with the rattles in it. I don't know where I'm going with this. Well, anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. That's my. Well, anyways, guys, that's. But I haven't fished there yet this year. I was fishing down by the swim beach last weekend, and I actually caught a bunch of largemouth and bluegill out there. Within an hour, I caught like 10 fish out there. So normally it's been kind of rough out here the last few years, but this year I've had a lot more luck out here. So
You have to have a fishing license for the Tony Park in the same.
yeah, you will still have to have a standard fishing license out here. Yeah,
You got an extra one?
I don't, sadly.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. You guys have a good one.